live. Make sure that you guys can hear me clearly on the server on YouTube. And we are good. We're good. So today is February 5th, right? Today is February 5th. I'm gonna turn up the volume a little bit, but yeah, today's February 5th, 2023. And I'm definitely excited, right? Definitely excited. We have a good week coming up right now. Was good, everybody tapping in. Let me go ahead and fix this real quick. But yeah, we got a good week ahead of us this week. I'm definitely excited, right? I'm definitely excited. I'm not like emotional, right? Like I'm gonna lose my money in the markets, but I'm excited, and I think that's fair. We've been, as I've been saying for a couple weeks now, if you didn't take off December or you didn't take off January from the charts, um, it's okay. But if you did, it's okay. If you didn't, then I'm gonna just be honest with you. It's almost like training in like high gravity situations, or like if you was weight training and you was running a mile with 50 pounds on your back, right, for 2 months, and then you decided to run a mile without any of that weight on your back, right? That's pretty much what it is that that's happening when you going from trading in the wintertime to going ahead and trading in the, and I had to fix those things for us, but trading in a trending market. Because I'm gonna just be honest, I mean, and we've looked at this a few times, but I mean, you can look at what the markets have looked like the last few months, right, compared to the months before that, right? These are what you would call trending markets, right? Versus, and this was all last year. This is all the same year, right? Trending, 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 trending. And then since just about November, right? The end of November, you can see we literally dropped down into a range, and then we just chilled for all December, and then we dropped into another range and we chilled for all of January, right? But as you know, we're kind of seeing what went down last week. We started to get, right, price action we haven't seen in weeks. We haven't seen anything, at least even just this pushing us out of this range. We haven't seen anything like that since, I guess you could say, what was this, the beginning of January. And if you really pay attention to the candlesticks, we haven't seen two bullish days like this back to back. Right, big, like, engulfing bullish days. It's been a while, right? Like you can see these little candles here, but ain't nobody talking about those candles. We talking about expansion type of days, right? The last time you could see something like that, maybe you could see here, there was a little bit of an expansion, but I wouldn't even consider those candles. Something like this, we haven't seen something like that since November, or you could even go back since what? Since we were in a bullish trending market. So I like to pay attention to things like that. Um, Wow, Brian. Thank you for saying that, bro, because I've been literally sitting here talking to myself, and y'all was not able to hear me, right? So glad that you're able to hear me now. Same thing on the YouTube. Glad that you guys are able to hear me now. But I was just going over the fact that the last 2 months have been consolidative. Yeah, couldn't hear me before, but I appreciate you letting me know. But yeah, I was pretty much just going over the fact that if you've been trading in the markets the past 2 months, December, January, if you haven't, great for you. If you have, it's almost like you've been trading. It's almost like you were training to run a mile with 50 pounds on your back for 2 months, and you decided to run a mile without 50 pounds on your back. And it's my favorite analogy, but it's just to say, I mean, as you can see, we're the way that I like to trade, and I think the people who trade similar to myself like to trade in trending markets. You're gonna make the most of your money when the markets are trending, moving in certain directions, right? Then you can see what happened over the last 2 months, though. Since about the end of November, the market dropped into this range and just chilled for a month. And then we had a little bit of drop into this range, and we just chilled for a month. But now we can see as the market has kind of given us this bullish push out, this expansion. We haven't seen anything this aggressive since maybe this drop down, but even more, we haven't seen two bullish days like this back to back, because we're on a daily time frame. We haven't seen two bullish days like this, like very bullish too, not these little, consolidated days. I'm not talking about this, right? Like this, I'm not talking about that. But the last time you saw price action like this, we could probably go back to maybe this little bit here, but I'm thinking we haven't seen price action like this since back here in October, right? September, right? When the market was in a what kind of market? A bullish trending market. So just to kind of give you guys, an idea of what it is that we're going into. We're going into that trending type of time, and that's the reason that I was saying when y'all couldn't hear me that I'm excited for what's coming up. I'm not emotional, but I'm excited, and I want to practice something this week. I mean, yes, of course, this is weekly outlook, right? Today's February 5th, 2023. So we're gonna look at what it is that we kind of expecting this week. Not only this week, but this month. This is the first weekly outlook of the month. So we're gonna look at what's going on for the month. And we're also going to go ahead and take a look at, I want to kind of do something a little bit different, right? I want to actually go ahead and, for those of you guys who only are able to hop on the weekly outlooks, maybe you're not a part of, the guild specifically. You're not a member, but either way, for the squad, I do want to kind of do a hunting the setup this week, right? So today we're gonna identify the specific setup that we're hunting. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna identify it, and we're going to be hunting for that all week, right? So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, when we hop on the trading floor together, we're gonna be looking for that setup, or I'll at least be looking for that setup throughout the week, and I'll be updating the forum throughout the week as we're looking for that setup. And until it comes to that zone, until we see that setup, until that setup comes to our area of entry, we are not going to take the setup early. We're not going to get into a trade early, anything of that nature. So I think that one thing that I'd like to build in the guild especially is that, like, price action is relatively easy, right? Learning what the charts are doing is relatively easy. It's more so how you manage your emotions, how you manage your money, and how you manage the order of the order, the order at which the order in which you do things, that determines whether or not you're going to be successful. So the whole point of this exercise is to kind of really create I guess kind of give that example, or create that group example of us hunting a whale, right? Of us hunting a bear, right? Like, we're gonna identify the setup we're looking for. That's gonna be our metaphorical bear or our metaphorical whale, and we're gonna identify it. And all week, whether you're trading with me or whether you're trading by yourself, we're gonna look for that setup. And even within that setup, we're gonna look for something on more of an intraday, more of a short term, more of a higher time frame type of vibe, so that even as a scalper or as an intraday trader, you can find multiple setups inside the setup that it is that we're looking for. I mean, an example of a setup we were looking for that we talked about last week was, just the dollar taking these lows here. Seeing the dollar take these lows, and y'all share this link, right? If you have the YouTube link, go ahead and click like on this video, click subscribe on the video, leave a comment, and of course share the link. We're gonna go over some key values today, right? Some key values, and like I said, we're gonna do the hunting a setup. All right. But from last week, the setup we were hunting last week, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and pull that one up. Right, I'm gonna actually go ahead and look here in the forum, because that's the only place I have record of it right now, right? So in the forum here, in the weekly journal from last week, or is this week? No, that's this week. We haven't used that one yet. This is from last week. And last week when we started, this was what we had identified last week. Okay, can you guys see? Yeah, I think you guys can see, right? So last week we had identified what we were hunting was XAUUSD. Even though we didn't have this whole hunting a setup vibe, we was hunting the setup. Don't worry. And I don't typically trade forex pairs a lot anymore. But at the end of the day, Euro USD had high impact news every single day of the week last week. So as far as I'm concerned, Euro USD was not a forex pair last week. Euro USD was an asset last week. Okay, so last week we were looking to see us come down below this 1.0830 level, into this fair value gap, right underneath the sell side liquidity from here, right? Because we had created this, high. I believe we're on the hourly time frame, right? So we had created this high here last week of the month of January, and then we came down, created this low of that week, and we were hunting that sell side liquidity, right? So seeing them come down into this, I did say there was a possibility we could see them, dip even further down, but it was cool. And just looking for them to come in this zone. Once they came in this zone, I was looking for buy opportunities up into the buy side liquidity on a higher time frame, right? Above these double tops. I mean, this is a clean, exactly what it is that we're looking for, right? For them to take liquidity below a sell side, on the sell side, below lows, dip below old lows that people would have their stop losses at, or people would give up on a trade at once it comes below their low, and then aiming and targeting at double tops, triple tops, right? Areas where we have equally relevant highs that would attract or create a draw on liquidity, or it would be what you see here, it would be a magnet. It would draw price to it, right? So we hunted for it to come to this area. And then once we got to that area, we could look for positions over and over until we got to this area. That's the similar idea we're looking at this week. Okay. So in reference to that, we'll go back to EU. And I do think I cleared my chart already, so I don't think we'll be able to look at it exactly how I had it last week. But we can definitely go back and back test the zone, which was last week Sunday was here. So it was about here where we were speaking about that. It was last Sunday right here was when we spoke about that. So we'll go ahead and do a replay. Bang. This is what we were looking for last week. And I mean, I think you can see relatively. Go ahead and just do this. All right, cool. Now everybody can see. All right, and you can see that it was these, similar double bottoms we was looking for. So let's find it here. So what was it? It was this level. Bang. We was looking for it to come right here. And we wanted entries in an area like this, pretty much, I believe it was. And so as we see, price did go ahead and deliver higher on Monday. And going into Tuesday London session, look at what we had, right? Tuesday London session, we broke, not only hit that zone, we broke past that zone and took the liquidity over here, okay? And then once they went ahead and took that, boom, and I was able to go ahead and partake on this, because the way that you would kind of trade this setup is that, okay, yeah, they dipped down into here around 3 a.m. in the morning. You shouldn't even be, I mean, most of you guys wouldn't be there anyway. Typically we're going to be show up at what time, right? Tuesday morning, right? New York session, right? And that is exactly when I was, showed up to the charts, and I saw that this had played out, right? And once you see this play out, we've already hit our zone. Now we're just hunting any movements towards the high side, right? So I'm not looking to do any signal service type of vibes. I'm not looking to give out no signals. If you're used to hopping on Weekly Outlook with me, you know that the vibe is I'm going to give my perspective. I'm going to explain my perspective. So maybe you can adopt it, or maybe you can use it in reference to your own bias. And then I'm going after I identify an area for us to get in, I'm going to identify an area for us to get out. You can either get in and get out where that is, or you can find multiple opportunities to get in and get out on this trade, right? So that was kind of how this played out. We're not going to do a trade review right now because, or because there was a couple trades that I took on this throughout the week, right? And I took this opportunity here when it pulled back, and when it went up again, took that opportunity. And then I think I had another one over here that I took after FOMC. But yeah, this setup, I guess you would say, I want to go faster. It played out all the way to that buy side liquidity, and it actually blew past that buy side liquidity, to the even, We'll look at it in a second when we look at your look at the higher time frame. But it blew past this daily buy side liquidity and actually ended up targeting going into this fair value gap up here on a higher time frame. And then of course you can see that it sold off, came right back to, you know, to our entry. But of course you wouldn't have been in there the whole time. But that is what I mean when I say we're hunting a setup, we're hunting a bias. You feel me? Is that we're not looking to right? We're not looking to chase the market. If that setup never would have hit that zone, we would have just left it alone, right? If it never would have hit that zone, we would have literally just left it alone. But at the end of the day, once it hits that zone, even on a 4-hour time frame, look at how perfectly it closed above that zone. I can't make this up. Y'all just saw me draw that. Like literally on a 4-hour time frame, look at the way that they came down and they wicked under here. But look at the beautiful close right on top our fair value gap. And then we saw them open up right on top of it, take off from there, retest at 10 a.m. the next morning. What's up? It's nothing more from that. And then you the next day, you know, coming into Tuesday night, Asian session entry again right here. And this is on the 4-hour time frame. That's an Asian session entry into what? Previous order block mitigation from the other side, right? And then again, more opportunity to the upside. And there was several other opportunities, as you saw in the hourly time frame, to get in here on Wednesday, right? And I mean, of course, on Wednesday, they went absolutely ballistic. And so, yeah, that's kind of the vibe as to what we're going to be doing today. We're going to find a specific setup and we're going to look for the opportunities we want to see in that setup. If you want to take the setup, then please, by all means, you can take the setup. But more so, I think the idea more so is for you to find multiple opportunities within the higher time frame setup we find today. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're going to do today, guys. That's what we're going to do today. Let's start with the DXY as usual. Actually, I lied to everyone. We're not going to start with the DXY. Let's start with news. Let's start with some news. And my music go. Put the music on. Do a little bit of music. A little bit of music never hurt nobody. Okay. So we're going to go to investing.com. This is where we find our economic calendar under news. Go to our economic calendar. We're going to look at the whole week because this is the weekly outlook, right? And let me get my journal here because I got a journal. What we're looking at. All right, got to journal this. We're looking at. Hear that notebook action. All right, so today, actually, we just had AU news drop at 7 p.m., 7:30. We had some Australian dollar news. Tomorrow is going to be a New Zealand dollar holiday. Let me actually go ahead and put this 3-star news. We want 3 stars, no 2-star. You heard? All right, 3-star, no 2-star. And so on Monday, we got, the European president just love talking right now, right? She's talking at 1 p.m. President Lagarde is talking at 1 p.m. And then we have CAD news tomorrow morning. So, and then we have more Australian dollar news tomorrow night. We actually have interest rates dropping tomorrow for AU. So we actually may go ahead and take a look at AU today. Potentially, we got GBP news tomorrow morning. I mean, shoot, we might take some trade. We might check it out on Monday. So let's see how deep we get into it. Maybe I can move a little faster, and maybe we could look at a couple different pairs. But we gonna take a look at NAS. You already know we gonna look at NASDAQ, nasty NAS. On Tuesday, we got Brazil news, but that doesn't affect my trading day. But we do have I don't know if this was, I don't think this was here when I looked at the news, but Federal Chairman Powell is going to be speaking tomorrow at 12:40, Tuesday at 12:40. Guys, he's the guy who speaks about the interest rate when it comes out for the US dollar. When he speaks, the market moves, right? That was not here before. I don't feel like it was here, but we're definitely going to be seeing what's going on Tuesday PM session after he speaks. And then we have a energy outlook on Tuesday. So there's going to be a lot of, I would say it's not necessarily things that affect the market right when they happen at 12, but some things that's going to introduce a lot of volatility to the market in the form of liquidity, right? Because people love to trade news, and news gives people a lot of insight. Not that it helps them make money, but it gives them a lot of insight that makes them feel comfortable entering the markets. And when they enter the markets, they are food. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but that's exactly what it is. They're food, and we're just learning how to eat, okay? Wednesday, we got crude oil inventories. It feels like every week we got crude oil inventories. and they're anticipating that it's going to come out lower than expected. Thursday, we have German CPI, which is German inflation rates. German is a very big, it's a big economic center in Europe, so that will be very influential information. And they're anticipating that inflation is going to come out a lot higher. That's going to be a lot. So we'll see. That's 2 a.m. on Thursday. So what y'all think? Maybe we could do. Maybe we do. Maybe London session Wednesday. No. Okay. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. All right. And then GBP at 4 a.m. 4:45 on Thursday. We got GBP news, Euro this week. So we might be sticking to the Euro play this week, guys. Forex might be getting some action this week. I ain't gonna lie. Forex might be getting some action this week. We got Euro news pretty much Monday and Thursday and Friday. We have GBP news Monday, Thursday, and Friday. And we have CAD news on Tuesday, on Monday and Friday. So we'll take a look at some forex pairs today, guys. We'll take a look at some forex pairs, and that's that. So that is our news outcast for the week. Looking at the dollar, guys, man, I feel like a whole weight has been lifted off my shoulder now that we took the damn sell side liquidity on the daily time frame. But of course, anybody who tapped in last week, I put a lot of emphasis on the low from January 1st. From May 31st, May 30th, June 1st, that area of last year, there was a low filled here that we never revisited. All right. Not only was there a low filled here, but it was a low that had no wick. There was no wick coming to the downside. That tells me on a lower time frame that is a double bottom, right? That is an area the market came to and moved away from very quickly, right? With a fierceness, and then we never saw the market trade back down there for the entire rest of 2022. The market never came here, right? And then we went into a bearish market in the fourth quarter of the year. This is very interesting to me because, as we spoke about last week, when I pay attention to the quarters of the year, right? When I pay attention to the quarters, and that's how I like to look at the market. I like to look at the market on time and price, not just based on where price is at, right? So if that was the first quarter, and then we see that the first quarter ended here, and we see that the second quarter ended right about here. Wait, let's see. Second quarter would be April, May, June, and then July, third quarter, and then October, fourth quarter, and then the new year started right about here. Okay, so do you guys just think that it's a coincidence? Okay, do you find it to just be a coincidence that the market literally gave us a low at the beginning of January? They gave us a low, then they took off for 2 quarters, and in the middle of the second quarter, they gave us another low, and this low was the low of the year, right? This low was the low of 2022. Also came back into also, this low happened after they took buy-side liquidity from March 2020. Okay, so the drop that happened, COVID March 2020. I love looking at the higher time frame. I don't know about you, right? But March 2020, the market gave a high, dropped, never came back to that high until last year. Right, May 2022, they gave a high. As soon as they took this buy-side liquidity from March, what did the market do? It dropped, gave a low of the year, right? A low that we hadn't seen a drop like this on the dollar all year since it started taking off. But guess what? We got a drop after they took that buy-side. Where did they drop into? They dropped into the order block, aka fair value gap of this move that took off, right? They came into it and then they moved away in a hurry. That left liquidity underneath here, right? Because anybody, any person with a lot of liquid, or any position traders, swing traders that got into this trade here, or they got into a trade here, or they got into a trade here, and they were in these buys, where do you think their stop losses were? Their stop losses were under here. All right. And what I really want in the guild, I want the squad to stop looking at stop losses as just an exit. Okay. When you think of a stop loss, I want you to start thinking of stop loss as it's just another entry, honestly, right? Because when you buy something in the market and you set a stop loss, your stop loss is a sell order. You get what I'm saying? And when you sell something in the market and you set a stop loss, your stop loss is a buy order. right? So at the end of the day, everybody who's in buys here, they had sell orders right here, whether you like it or not, whether you want to call it a stop loss or a break even, I don't care what you want to call it. It was a sell order, right? And at the end of the day, right now, okay, what type of market are we in right now? Give me some participation, right? What kind of market are we in right now? Right? What kind of market are we in right now? Oh, my bad. I came off the thing. All right. We're in a bullish market. There's nothing like there's no ain't no other way to cut it. We're in a bullish market on the higher time frames. If I put this thing on the monthly, you're not going to negotiate with me. Nobody's going to argue with me that we're in a bullish market. This is a bullish market on a higher time frame. This lower time frame, all this is a pullback. Okay, respectfully, it's a pullback. All right. And so with that being said, when I'm looking at this as a pullback and I'm looking for potential areas for me to get into a what? I'm looking for potential areas for me to get into a buy, right? Especially if they're seeing the market sell off for as long as they sold off. The timing is very important, right? The timing is very important. Like you got to think about it, right? What are the odds that first quarter, second quarter, third quarter we bought up, okay? And then the fourth quarter of the year, if you're a position trader and you took buys here, you took buys here, you took buys here, you even took buys here because you was feeling frisky. When do you take profit? Well, you take profit at the end of the year before the holidays. Doesn't that make sense? That makes sense to me. It should make sense to all of us, right? So of course the market sold off. It's very convenient the market started selling off in the fourth quarter. So because that happened in the fourth quarter and it was very convenient, it is just hard. And I know inflation is still on the rise. I know that people in America are still getting jobs left and right. They're still spending money left and right. I mean, all of these things just point to them raising interest rates even more, which means an even more, even higher value dollar. Okay. And just based on the way that, like, just real talk, based on the way we trade, we've already closed above these equal highs. We've already traded back towards these equal highs into where we are now. My next target, as I put out last week, is the monthly buy side liquidity before we talk about anything sell wise, right? Because on the monthly time frame, we are in an uptrend on the monthly. So that means in order for me to get a reversal, I need to see them they need to liquidate a high on the monthly time frame in order for me to go ahead and see them going anywhere. And the range that we have been trading in on the monthly time frame, it has been from the high of 2001 to the low of 2008. That is the range, guys. If you look, there's no other way to put it. That's the range. Maybe we're about to break out of the range, cool, but right now this is the range we've been trading in. Okay, so with that being said, until we get to this monthly buy side liquidity, I'm in a bullish market on the dollar, and I'm okay with being wrong. I ain't got no problem with being wrong. But now we're in the first quarter of the year and we're seeing bullishness that we haven't seen since here. It's even more evident on the monthly time frame. From today, January 30th was the last week, right? It was the last week that was an engulfing week, aka this candle. It was the last bullish engulfing week. This was the first time since here, right? If you want to count this, right? Since September 5th through September 12th, that week of my birthday, right? Since then, we have not had any bullish engulfings at all. There has been no introduction of market maker buying into the market. They've all been what? Sells. They've all been withdrawing. They've all been taking profit. What are the odds that we come out of the fourth quarter, right? And we're in the first quarter of the year, and they don't close below these lows, even though they've been bearish for months now. All of a sudden, it's just now that they decide to take liquidity, okay? Because if I'm looking for buys and I have to introduce a lot of money into the market, well, guess what? If I'm gonna need somebody to be selling to me, ain't that right? How can I buy something if nobody's selling? I really hope y'all are getting what I'm putting down. It's going to be very important for your developing your bias. And we're going to talk more about that on Thursday on the developing your bias training, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, yo, if you're looking for long-term buys, you need people who have long-term sells. And I just explained to you guys that stop losses on buys are the equivalent of sells. So what is the convenience, right, that we get a bullish engulfing candle first quarter right after the market dipped below long-term lows where sell orders existed. So who do you think filled their buy orders here? Other than us, that would be the market makers. Okay, so I'm in alignment with a bullish dollar. I like this area for us to get away from. So after seeing that, spike up from last week, I think it's evident on the daily time frame. I'd love to see the dollar trade back into this gap 100% non-negotiably. And I feel like that gap is in an awfully convenient place, and I'll show you why on the lower time frame in a second. But I want to see us fill that daily gap. That's a fact. That is 100% fact. Want to see us fill that daily gap that was left on Friday. And of course, this low look real clean right now. This low look real clean right now. So I wouldn't be mad to see them, spike even further, down here before we do trade up, higher. But I ain't gonna lie, the way they ran off there on Friday, I don't know. I don't know if we coming back down there. Okay. So I'll show why on a lower time frame I like this area even more. Even if we want to throw a little fib on this real quick, just for the sake of arguments, right? That's right below the equilibrium of this high and this low, right below the 50% of that. Okay. And if I'm a buyer and anybody offers me a 50% discount or higher, I'm taking it. All right. So anywhere below this 50% level is where I'm looking to go ahead and look for those buys on the dollar. So if you want to already get a hint for what kind of setups we're hunting this week, we're hunting the setups that come underneath that that equilibrium, right? Of course, y'all do what y'all want to do. Me back in the day when I was reckless, right? I would probably look to take the opportunities while the market is selling down here. I'll take the sells till we get there, and I'll take the buys up. I'm a new man though. We ain't going for that type of time. We're not going for that type of time. All right. I just want to be able to participate in the direction that I want to see the market. Now, interestingly enough, we just came into a gap that has already been taken, yes. But it's very interesting where the market usually tends to revisit, right? That's not a coincidence, okay? So we just traded straight up to this gap. I wouldn't be surprised to see selling from here down to where it is. That all they're doing is leaving crumbs in the market, right? So going down to the hourly time frame now, right? Y'all following me? I don't leave nobody behind now, okay? So okay, but so my brother, my sister, appreciate y'all. Okay. All right, so me looking at this this range that we was just in, seeing them sweep the liquidity below and then sweep the liquidity above. This is what ICT refers to as accumulation. Okay, accumulating orders, consolidating near an area of previous liquidity so that they can build up orders on either side of the market. For the past couple weeks, they've built up orders on both sides of this market, and then we saw them take the sell side. But this isn't just like this. Just remember, guys, this is not just the sell side from this week they built up. Like, yes, there was a bunch of lows here, and yeah, they took that. But not only did they take that, they took lows and stop loss orders from 2022. Like, do you understand how much liquidity, how much money they just liquidated? Like, somebody's pissed, guys. Somebody's pissed. All right, somebody woke up and was upset. They was holding on. Y'all ever had that? Y'all ever had a trade at break even? Or you didn't, worst case, you didn't move it to break even, but y'all ever had a trade at break even? It was deep in profits, and for some reason you didn't take profit, and it was coming close, and you was like, man, I could take some profits, but I ain't no, but it's either I get everything or nothing, and you let that thing go back to break even. Yeah, that's what some people just did on an 8-month trade, on a trade they've been in for 8 months. That's what just happened when it hit here. Okay, and then they took off from that area. They don't want nothing to do with that, right? You ever had a trade hit your stop loss or your break even and then it didn't come back so you could get back in? Like, it wicked you out, it went in your direction and never came back. that's when you've been liquidated, guys. And that's what's happened to these sell stops down here. So that's why I'm just kind of like, I don't really see them trading back there, because why would you give another opportunity for people to get into the markets, right? So I think that what would rather happen is that they'll go ahead and they'll take us back to an area of fair value, right? And that area of fair value would be anywhere underneath this equilibrium, A, and then B, the last bearish candle before we got this aggressive movement up, right, was this candle right here. Okay, that was the last bearish candle before the aggressive move up. That candle catches my attention. All right, let me see on the 4-hour real quick. All right, even on the 4-hour time frame, you can see that it's our order block on the 4-hour time frame. What is it on the daily? On the daily, it's our gap. Ain't that a bit? All right. So on the 4-hour, that's right where we're at. Okay, so I like to look at this candle right here as our fair value gap, as the area I want to be paying attention to. All right, we'll get rid of this on the gap. I mean, we all know where the gap is at. Okay, we can see that. I don't think I need to annotate that. Okay. But on the daily time frame, that's what I'm looking to see on the dollar. On a higher time frame, on the 4-hour, I am right now. Looking to see them trade into this, and of course, not looking to see them trade, you know, have any closes below here, right? I'm not looking to see them have any closes below there. But yeah, that's what we looking at on the dollar. If we break this zone, then of course I'll be paying attention to what's going on under here. But ideally, I would love to see them just trade back into here and just take off from there. Like, just to be honest with you. But like I said, this whole area is fair game. I have no problem with them dipping back, you know, under here, right? You can come get these. I guess they kind of did that here, but you can come get these lows if you want those lows. I don't care, right? I'm just ready for us to trade below this equilibrium. And once we trade below this equilibrium, I'm going to be looking for price action on a lower time frame, such as the 15-minute time frame, where we're liquidating lows and running higher, right? I'm not even gonna lie to you, this looks really nice. Like this right here, this looks real sweet. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised. Let's pay attention. Like we said, this week we have randomly Powell decided to speak this week, so I already don't trust him, right? I already feel like it would be just real convenient if Powell speaks and the market just plummets to here and then, you know, comes back up. That would just be so convenient. And then initial jobless claims comes out the next day. So we're gonna pay attention, right? So when we hop on here on Tuesday morning, I'll do some I'll do some ideas on that, and I'll drop, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and look at it tomorrow as well. If I hop on tomorrow, then even better, but if not, I'll record a commentary and I'll send it on the website, so y'all could tap into that on the website. But yeah, that's what we're looking at on the dollar. I want to see them go ahead and trade down back into these zones, and I'm gonna start looking for sell opportunities on some of these other cats. Okay, so that's what I'm looking to see there. And where was our weekly open on dollar? I'm gonna just take that into account. Weekly open was right here. Okay, that was our weekly open on the dollar. So yeah, I would love for them to trade down below this weekly open, all fair game opportunities below this weekly open, and see them go ahead and break up out of that. So that's what we got coming down for this week. After we just had these two, you know, super aggressive days, though, I wouldn't be surprised for Monday to just be a little blah, right? For them to give maybe a bearish order block today. Wouldn't be surprised. You know, something like that, right? Just like you saw here, we had two major bearish days and then just nothing, right? And so I wouldn't be surprised to see something similar, right? Two major bullish days right here on the daily, and then kinda, right? So that's that. I wouldn't be surprised to see that on Monday, right? We could trade lower, trade higher, and then come on back and just close right here around the weekly open. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. So with that being said, I'm gonna go over to my lady NASDAQ. All right, we're gonna go over to my lady NASDAQ, where I typically do most of my hunting. All right, where I do most of my hunting. And looking at NASDAQ, love looking at the higher time frames. All right. You know, what I find telling about NASDAQ is the way that these lows closed lower than these ones from 2020. That gives, that gives continuation to me, right? That gives, this is a pullback to me. Now on the monthly, all right, on the monthly, let me look at this whole, it's interesting. This is similar to Bitcoin. You can see that it just came into existence and literally just took off forever. How'd that end for Bitcoin? Y'all tell me. But anyways, definitely looking to see bearishness as the dollar, of course, gives that bullishness on NASDAQ, but I'm being very careful. I'm being very careful. I love the way that they took this, at the same time that the dollar took daily buy side liquidity. I love the way that NASDAQ came and took buy side liquidity, but it just didn't. It's not giving enough for me. You know what I'm saying? As the ladies say, right? Like you got this high right here, right? And it could be enough, right? It could be. I would love to believe in y'all, believe in them and believe that that was enough liquidity right here from the high of September, that they could be grateful with that, right? But I don't know, guys, man. Something about the way NASDAQ is on this mission right now. And it's the same thing for gold, right? This is the reason that I wouldn't be mad to see, the dollar gave itself a lot of room with this burst up. Like, you understand that maybe you could say gold really had, a heavy drop, but that's not heavy in comparison to what, gold's been doing over the past however many months. That's, again, just a little bit of a pullback into what? A fair value gap. Same thing for NASDAQ, right? It wasn't that, especially NASDAQ, that was nowhere near no crazy drop. That is what we call divergence. You get what I'm saying? That's what we call divergence, right? We're getting higher highs. We're getting higher highs on NASDAQ. On the dollar, and on NASDAQ, we're still getting higher highs, right? So that gives that we still have room to go higher on NAS, but that also gives that we have reversal vibes going down, soon. We're in a position for a reversal. So my thing about NASDAQ is, and the same thing with gold, is that I just feel like they're so close to this daily buy side, like this really the high, right? Like back in April 2022, gold gave, the highest high we've had since, and they right after March, right? So March was the highest high. And then right after we gave the most recent, the most recent high, literally the month after they pulled back, and then they sold off, right? So I would love to see them come up and take sell side, buy side liquidity here, and then just literally dump, right? And where's our target? Here, right? It's the same thing I just showed you on Euro USD, just on a way higher time frame, right? Because at the end of the day, guess what? Magnet, draw on liquidity, right? Buy side liquidity, previous buy stops, okay? Price trades up into this target, gets liquidity in an overall market that wants to trend lower again, right? And our target is what? Equal or relevant lows, okay? So if you want to hunt a setup and gold is your bay, maybe you can hunt something like this, right? Like I said, I'm bearish, and I honestly don't want to take any buying positions on gold. Just to be honest, I'm not looking to. But what I'll do is I'll wait for us to take this and then participate. Like I said, the price action on lower time frames is very convenient. But I'm gonna go ahead and screenshot this. I like hunting. I like hunting this one real too. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and place this in here real quick, just for my record keeping, so I can add it to the forum later. Okay. But yeah, so back to NAS though, I just feel, and I feel like these highs were just so close to each other, man. Wow, like that, it's really just, it's not giving very convincing that they're done with it. So yeah, would love to see them trade, and take this high here from August, and from there see us, go ahead and sell off. But I wouldn't be surprised, all right? Wouldn't be surprised. And that's why I love to be the waiter. I love to be the waiter, okay? Like I said, I'm not interested in really in catching the buys on NASDAQ. It can go astronomical as much as she wants to. Over the past couple of weeks, I haven't been interested in any sells on NASDAQ, right? And it's the same thing here when it comes to now in the reverse, right? It's time for us to start getting ready for some sell-offs. So once the dollar go ahead and trades into the, below this equilibrium and NASDAQ is at above areas of liquidity, that's when I'm looking to pull the trigger on NASDAQ, right? So we're kind of hunting, one of the things we're hunting this week, one of the parameters for our hunt this week is the dollar going back under equilibrium. You feel me? I'll drop this in here too for me. Right? And that's kind of kind of what it is that we want to see go down. And then of course going down onto the lower time frames throughout the week to, get confirmations on that. And once we see something like that, something similar as to what we saw with Euro USD, seeing us take out some of those highs, and then being able to, once we take out a high on NASDAQ, for example, take out a buy side liquidity in a certain area. That's what's important. It's not just about, oh, there was an order block, oh, there was a resistance, oh, there was a support. It's about being at these key levels at a certain time of the day, at key levels at key times of the day. That's the important part. If you're at key levels at key times of the day, then you go down to your hour, you go down to your 15-minute, you go down to those time frames, and you find yourself a setup using the same things that I just broke down on a higher time frame. You're just now looking for those things within that key level, within a key time frame. You want to go ahead and find those key entry opportunities, such as a draw on liquidity, fair value gap, all of those different things in alignment with your direction. Like I said, we'll talk some more on Thursday when it comes pertaining to how to particularly, define these setups. I went into the higher time frame more so last time we did this about 2 weeks ago. This time I'll go more into the lower time frame than once you have that higher time frame set up. But yeah, that's what we got going on NASDAQ, man. I'm definitely excited for these guys to come crashing down with it. So that's what I want to see. Go ahead and see the dollar come into that zone, and then once we come into that zone, I'll start looking for my sell opportunities on NAS and everything else. Now, I did say we want to look at some Euro USD real quick. I did say that, all right? Because they getting funky with the news this week on Euro USD. Ain't gonna hold you, right? They getting a little funky with the news. Let's higher time frame it up. All right, let's slow it down. Real quick. All right, let me go to FXCM. FXCM usually got the data. I'm talking all the way in the past, 1972 vibes. You need them 1972 vibes, right? So now we can really track history, and we can really track what it is that we're looking for on our other chart, right? And I'm gonna save this to my other thing. All right. So just like the dollar has been trading in a range since 2002, 2001, 2002. You can see that we're in a similar range on the monthly for the Euro USD, right? From this low, right, to this high is the range that we've been trading in. Excuse me, when it comes to Euro USD. Now, here's the low, here's the high. And you can see that Euro USD is trending towards this previous high, just like the dollar, right, is trending towards this previous high. I'm sorry, Euro USD is trading towards this previous low. Oh, that's not my Euro USD chart that we were looking at, right? But it's trading towards this previous low, similar as to how the dollar is trading to this previous high, because it's correlated, right? The higher time frame you go, the even more correlation you're going to see, right? And so Euro USD is trading towards this low, and the same thing I said about the dollar. There's just nothing between this lower low, right, and this previous low. There's just nothing to stop it, right? So for me, long term on Euro USD, we're looking at attacking this monthly sell side liquidity. Okay, Now, overall, if we want to go to a higher time, time zone, right? We can see that we've been in a certain range from 1985, February 1985, and you guys go look up what was happening important in the economy in 1985. It was damn near '08 and 2020 all over again. They had their own hysteria, okay? All the way to when? April 2008 when the markets crashed. Okay, that is the realm of this range on a higher time frame, and you can see that, of course, we're trading down, trading down towards this sell side liquidity. I wouldn't be surprised to see us, and this is shot in the dark, right? But I wouldn't be surprised to see us trade on down to this sell side liquidity right here, and then go ahead and take it higher, unless they plan to just get rid of fiat currencies, period. But as long as this price action is going to play out, guys, this is what we're doing. We're just finding ranges. We're identifying the liquidity on the outside of the range. We're waiting for them to take that liquidity and then move to another zone and create a different range. I mean, it's as simply simplified as I've been able to gather it. Okay, so from here, looking at '01 is where we traded at here in 2001, and you see that we've come up, we've given a high, and now we've traded away from that. I'm targeting here, right? Same way I want to see the dollar go ahead and trade towards that same similar zone, just like we identified on let's go down to a weekly, right? Just like we identified on NAS and on the dollar, we can see that they've recently taken highs from May 2022. Isn't that convenient? The dollar just took lows from May 2022, and Euro USD just went on a mission to take highs from same time, right? May 30th, 2022. It's literally the same exact day that the dollar had given its low was the time that Euro USD gave its high and went ahead and continue to trade on. Now, I think this gap stands out to everybody, of course. This was a gap from interest rates, because I can tell that because it was on February 14th, and the next interest rates this year is February 14th, so I assume it was probably around the same time last year, right? But very interesting gap here for us to pay attention to. But again, this is very dependent. What Euro USD does is very dependent on how the dollar responds, and what the dollar does, how the dollar chooses to react. Let me go ahead and see this high from December 2020. Interesting. So Euro USD just traded above the equilibrium of this range from, this song been on repeat. I was wondering. It's like I'm feeling a little insanity going on. All right, cool. So yeah, this 50% on Euro USD, from the high here of 2020 and the low here of 2022, we traded just above that equilibrium right here. Just above that equilibrium, we traded up into that, and then literally that's when it just so happens, perfect timing, right, that everything else went to ish, and the market literally dumped off, sold off. But I'm just going to be honest, guys, this doesn't look done to me. And the reason I said the dollar gave itself a lot of room is because I feel like the amount of room that the dollar has to trade back down into this, and even if they wanted to, they could trade it, trade down if that's what they plan to do, down into these zones and stuff. But just paying attention to where my eyes are for right now, I feel as though the dollar has enough space to trade back lower into these zones, and in just that movement would be enough for NAS to reach these higher liquidities, and for Euro USD to reach these higher areas. The dollar only has to give that little bit of a pullback. And again, there's a lot of people who they're still believing the dollar going the opposite direction. I mean, think about it, guys. After what I just broke down to you on the higher time frame on NASDAQ, I mean, there's plenty of people or on the dollar, there's plenty of people who just got liquidated, and guess what they want to do? They want to get in the market again, go in the opposite direction. They believe, oh yeah, the market's selling off now. Yeah, dollar's selling off now. Now everything's going to the moon. We've had the best numbers we've had, right? Like, look, that's exactly what's going on. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them, drop down, here on Euro USD on this lower time on the daily right here. Wouldn't be surprised to see them go ahead and drop down. We're in an uptrend, okay? We're in an uptrend here on Euro USD. we recently, let me go ahead and go to the weekly one more again. Right? So check it out. This low from 2022, it was after they took liquidity right here from these lows. Boom. All right. And you see they literally did what? They dipped right below it, just like I showed you on everything else. They dipped right below it and they took off, right? And then they traded back into what? The order block, and then they took off, right? And then they left what? Left this gap. Okay, so we keep that in our minds, right? But then they went ahead and they continued to stretch. Now, my thing is this. This is definitely a key, you know, like definitely a key high, but by no means is it necessarily a swing high, right? So there was liquidity under there, but seeing how they took something like this, this look a little bit too similar to this, but on the other side. I'm just gonna be real. That's the type of stuff I pay attention to when I'm trading. Like, yes, there's a lot of stuff I've learned and like people taught me, but I'm gonna just be honest with you. Like, it's just pattern recognition. Like this and how we took this here. So if I wanted another puzzle piece to go with this puzzle piece, and it needs to connect with the left puzzle piece, and it needs to connect with the right puzzle piece. Well, this high here, this high right here specifically with these long wicks, right? That looks a little bit more similar to here than this one, but it's cool, right? I ain't gonna take y'all down La La Land with me, but either way it goes, definitely could see them if they're not gonna just sell off. What I want to see this week is how serious they are about leaving this zone. That's what I want to see before I get into any sell opportunities on Euro USD, right? So I could see them coming back down into this because this is an uptrend still. I could definitely see them coming back down into, and they closed above these highs, right? Remember, that's one of my things, one of my rules. Convenient enough, they traded right up to this gap and sold off, right? But one of my things is that I want to see price only wick and then sell off, right? So on the daily here, if they weren't ready to go a little bit higher, from what I like to see, I would only have wanted to see them come and have a wick above here and still close down here, and that would show me a little bit more intentions of bullishness. But this body closed above all of this. That just gives me so much still bullish potential. So I could definitely see them taking what this daily sell side liquidity that was constructed, right? So this is daily sell side liquidity. I could definitely see them come back into that. We can identify here, right, the last bearish candle before they moved higher, right? So I'm gonna need to see them break this for me to be or close below this for me to be on some stuff where it's like, okay, I was wrong. They're ready to sell. Like I would need to see this get demolished. If that doesn't happen, if we see price trade back to this and wick away, or, see trade come towards that and just move. If I see anything like that, yeah, I'm targeting here. I'm targeting here. Once we get to that level, then look for them to sell off after, trading into this liquidity, right, above this previous high, right? Our next daily buy side, our next buy side, I guess you would say, is up here. It's the next previous daily buy side after they went ahead and just gave this. So that's kind of like what I'm seeing on Euro USD. But similar to everything else, I would prefer to be taking sells in this market, right? I would prefer to be taking sells in this market of Euro USD, but it's not right now. You don't want to take a sell right now, but above where areas of buy side liquidity and buy side liquidity, right? So here's an area of buy side right here, the high from last week, but after that it's here. Okay, so what I'm going to be paying attention to and hunting this week is what is the dollar doing when Euro USD reaches here, right? What type of price action am I seeing when we reach here? You get what I'm saying? And that, based off of that, if we're seeing closes above, like I just said, if I'm seeing closes above in here, then it's just, that's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is for them to take this liquidity and move away very quickly, right, very quickly. All right, that's what I'm looking to see, is them go ahead and wake up into this and then teleport, right? If that happens, then I'm noticing institutional sponsorship. I'm noticing that the big boys with a lot of money, that they are sponsoring this move, and for some reason they are looking to protect this position. Why? Because they would be the ones that are in the position, right? But if we don't see, you know, fast movement away from this zone, if I just see Euro USD come up into here and, you know, we do something like this, you know, stuff like, oh, no, that's not what we're looking for. If I see something like that, I don't trust it. I think we could still go ahead and just pull up right into this buy side liquidity that we're looking at on the higher time frame. So that's kind of what it is that I'm paying attention to on Euro USD. I want to see us take buy side liquidity and get us in position for some sell opportunities. So the idea just being, right, that once Euro USD is either above 319, ain't that convenient, 913, right? So once Euro USD is trading above that area on the daily, then what I'm going to be doing is looking on the hourly and the 15-minute time frame for a similar setup where they've just given a high and they're going to go ahead and take that high, drop down, and then pull back up, and I can take an entry for a sell on the order block. Okay, so that's one setup to that I'll be hunting this week, and I'll keep track of. Is, of course, like we said, the NASDAQ, seeing NASDAQ trade higher, but Euro USD just looks just so clean. It looks so clear that, you know, this is the one that one of the ones that I want to go ahead and say. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. Oh no, I'm messing up. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna put this in the, put that in here. Bang, just like that. No comments. Yeah, we Gucci. All right, so yeah, that's what I'm looking to see on Euro USD. So we gonna wait. We're gonna keep our eyes open for themselves. I like it. I'm liking it. AUD USD, I did say we could take a peek at AUD USD because we got the inflation numbers dropping tomorrow on AUD USD. Similar vibes, of course, when it comes to AUD USD. Interesting thing with AU is also trading in this range from this high to this low. All right. The high of when? April 2022 and the low of October 2022. See them trading into that now. Let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah, the equilibrium. Bang. That's our halfway point. That's all equilibrium means. 50% discount, man. Y'all better act like y'all know, okay? So that's what we got going on with the equilibrium on Euro USD. We just traded above that conveniently enough. We actually just traded into the into the premium of Euro USD, which is like, if I'm a seller, what? Y'all selling it for 70% more than we was selling it? You selling it for 70% more than we was selling it in October? Look, guys, I know I didn't want to sell any before, but I'm ready now. We can sell, right? That's how you start feeling when something's selling for almost double what you had it for or what you bought it for. Follow me? So that's kind of the idea with AUD USD. They just traded above this daily buy side liquidity here, right? They traded above it and they sold off. That is what I want to see, right? That's what I want to see. I don't want to see candles closing above stuff. I want to see beautiful close right underneath, and then we trade away. That's what we look for, right? So now looking at that on AUD USD, I want to see us trade back up to the last bullish candle before the sell-off, which was right here. This is our fair value. Bang. That's what we're looking for. If I go from the high to this low, conveniently placed right above our equilibrium, right? Right above our equilibrium. AUD USD is getting active early this week, I see. That makes sense though, because we have this, we had AUD USD news that just came out. Retail sales just came out, and it came out forecasted way worse. Geez, what y'all got going on in Australia? Retail sales is down almost 4% in the negatives at this point. That's crazy. They're at negative 4%, so they're actually going backwards, right? They're actually not selling enough. And then today we're going to have their interest rate decision, and we should be expecting for them to raise their interest rates from 3.10 to 3.35. So we'll see. Anything lower than that 3.35, AU's tanking out the moon. I'm just letting y'all know that right now. Anything lower than 3.35, that thing is tanking. Can I see that? I wouldn't expect that. Look, you see, they're typically very accurate, right? 3.1, 3.1, 2.8, 2.8, 2.8, 2.6. It was like, whoa, what y'all got going on, guys? What do you mean? Right? And we saw them actually go ahead and skyrocket over the next few months. So I'm interested, very interested in what you got going on, AU. If I'm hunting a setup on AU, this is the one that I'm hunting. This is literally perfect. Like, this is literally the setup that you want to see, right? We got the higher time frame in Confluence because we have a high to a low. This is the range we're trading in. This is above the equilibrium on the dailies, and this is in our premium zone. Price came right up to that. Not only that, price came right up to that. It took the buy side liquidity that was sitting here from August 2022. It came above that. It ran those stop orders and took people out of the marketplace. And then we went ahead and saw them not close above that either. They sold off immediately, leaving a beautiful buy candle right before that close right there. That's our order block. And then that would be our fair value gap right here, from the open of that candle to the low of that candle. And that's where we would want to see them trade back to. And we can go ahead and take entries on that from here. And where will we be targeting? We will be targeting equal lows, equal highs, right? Significant areas of the market like that. Or also, of course, this overall sell side monthly liquidity. If you're a position trader or a swing trader listening to this right now, right? That's your target monthly sell side liquidity, automatic, right? Automatic. That's what you're looking for. Especially when you see we've been in a downtrend since pretty much 2010. We've been trending downwards for the past, 10 years. You can see that we've closed below these zones here, right? Gave us lower highs here, and now we're trading lower again. There's nothing protecting the sell side liquidity once we go back into a bearish market. All right, so that's kind of what you would be looking for on a higher time frame. But as far as our little vibe this week, or if you're short-term trading, I'm just aiming for relative lows, right? Relative lows like what? Clean lows like over here, right? Bang, right? You see how equal those are, right? Definitely great stop, a great amount of liquidity there, right? Because there's multiple people who took buys here, they took buys here, they took buys here, and they took buys here, they took buys there, they took buys here, they took buys there, and stop losses is where? Right underneath that. Okay, so now that we've dropped down on this 4-hour time frame, or even, I think it was even clear on the daily, right? Oh no, on the daily it was just the body of that candle. Got you. Not Oculus. Boy, on the charts on the Oculus, that's fire. Okay, but right here on this hourly time frame, we can see that they literally took liquidity from this low from this Friday, right? These were also relatively equal lows. You can see on the lower time frame, they just dipped into that. They wicked it, okay? They closed above, guys. This is very important. Like, this literally is the ball game, right? Even on the 4-hour time frame, right? Closed, wicked away, right? Hourly, wicked. It's just a wick below. They didn't close below. They just wicked, and then they traded away, okay? So I mean, even that in itself is a buy setup, but we gonna let it rock because I'm looking for my sell, right? But what I do expect to see, if this is going to respect that, and if you want to learn more about this type of trading, right, is that I'm wanting to see them come back to a candle with body, the last bearish candle with body. And I'm aiming from the high of that candle, the open of that candle, to the high of that candle. And for this one, there's no high. So we're just going based off of, you know, where it's at. So I want to see them trade back into, I can go based off this low over here on this candle. I can go based off that. And I want to see them trade back into that. And I want to see them respect that. I don't want to see them reject. Let me mute you up, QB. I don't want to see them, you know, trade away from that. Right? I want to see them trade. I don't want to see them trade through that. I want to see them trade directly into that. Okay. And then I want to see them, you know, reject from there. Right. And I want to see them trade up higher to, you know, back into this zone. And once we get into this zone, then you guys already know the ball game. I'm looking for exactly what we just broke down here, but on a lower time frame. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Awesome question, bro. Yeah. I'm more of a short-term and intraday trader for sure. You know, like I am a versatile trader, but preferably in my trading plans are based on me being in a trade no longer than, you know, for the day, or, you know, no longer for the day, maybe 2 days, maybe 3. You know, like if that sell setup were to play out, I like to find trades within my setup. So short term to intraday. So like, for example, let's say this sell setup were to smack, all right, and my stop loss was above here, 28 pip stop loss, and I just told you guys TPs are down here. That in itself is a 1 to 7 setup. So this would be a setup for me. And then I can go down to the lower time frames. On NASDAQ, it's easier for me to do this. On Forex pairs, I'll probably just let this setup rock out. You feel me? I'll probably just let this setup rock out. But on something like NASDAQ that moves a little bit faster, I will find this setup, and I might not even take this setup on an intraday. I'm going to trade inside of this. So what I will do is that I'll find, boom, I'll take me a sell order once we get up here, and I'll take me a setup like here to here, 1 to 4 setup, bang, and then I'll find me another setup, and I'll, you know, go like this, you know, 1 to 3, bang, and I'll do that, and I'll take only sell setups until we get to my overall destination. So that's how I'll end up scalping, or I'll end up, you know, mainly intraday trading. I find a short-term setup that could last for a week or week and some change, and then I just trade inside of that, if that makes sense. I do want to mature and grow into a swing trader, though. That's really like my goal. You know what I'm saying? Is to really develop into somebody who can hold trades for freaking a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's just, I can do the setup and analysis, as you see. I can find the trade, but it's the sitting in it, man. It's the sitting in it. That's the part I'm working on to become a swing trader. That's the part I'm working on. Ha, I feel that, bro. When you try to learn another way other than ICT's concepts, you feel like you get confused. Yeah, I'm definitely like, I'm loving. Yeah, I feel it, bro, because it's the complete opposite of what you're learning. You feel me? It's the complete opposite. You're basically learning to shoot yourself in the foot if you learn any other way. But I feel you, bro, and I'm definitely glad that, you know, that I'm able. I want. There's this girl on YouTube. You can check her out, bro, and everybody on here could check her out. I already put QB onto her, and you guys on the YouTube stream, you can even check her out, right? Her name is Hannah Forex. And I rock with her heavy. She just, she's been documenting her trading journey for like 5 years, but she just started learning ICT concepts like 7 months ago. And I like the way that she actually shows like her journaling and like, like just the way she breaks down her usage of the concepts. Cause that's one of my favorite things about ICT concepts. Hannah Forex, like, yeah, he already know. But yeah, I really rock with the way she documents her journey. You know what I'm saying, and the way that she goes ahead and uses ICT concepts. Because that's one of my favorite thing about ICT concepts is that he's not he's giving you a number of different weapons, and he's literally telling you to build your own model. Now, in his 2022 mentorship and like what he's doing right now, he is giving people a more go-to, this is exactly how you need to take a trade, one setup. But anybody who you go through like what I have in the server, like in the resources section, I have both. I have the 22 mentorship as well. But if you go through his market maker primer, if you go through this market maker primer course, where he breaks down like the kill zones, like this is where he breaks down time concepts. I like that. And then if you go through that and then you go through his month 1 through 12, it's a lot of content to go through the month 1 through 12. That's why most people, they'll just go through the 2022 mentorship. But if you're the type of person who really desires an understanding and you would prefer for somebody to give you all the pieces and you put them together the way you want to, then I would recommend watch the market maker primer and then watch month 1 through 12. But if you're just the type of person who you just need the information, then yeah, just check out Market Maker Primer and then watch the 2022 mentorship. But me, I mean, I've honestly watched all the playlists on his stuff, but just giving you the go-to stuff, that'll, that gives it to you. But I watched all his stuff, and then I just put it in ways that my people will understand it. You feel me? Because it's a lot of people who it's hard for them to to grab what it is he's putting down. But yeah, guys, I mean, that's literally what this is. This is essentially the market maker model, where we're literally identifying where they're going to come in, where they're going to get out. So AUD/USD, we're going to put an alert here. I'm going to put it at 1.725, 7025. And I'm going to put our chart like this. Yo, this playlist is fire. All right, so we're gonna put an eye right here. This is where we're targeting, and then we're gonna put a magnet right here. Bang. Okay, and that's the way that I frame my setups. We're hunting AUD/USD this week. We're hunting EUR/USD this week. Bang, bang. Oh no, this is AUD, right? AUD/USD daily. How's that Oculus working out for you, my bro? So we got Euro, we got daily, gold. Oh, I never put NAS on here. She definitely thinks I'm a cheater. Nas definitely not rocking with me right now. It's because Nas not ready, man. Nas not ready. She not ready for me yet. She not ready for me yet. Maybe if this is real, like if that's all they needed was that spike into the daily, daily buy side liquidity, and they really gonna sell off now, all right. But it's just not given that yet, So same thing I actually said last Sunday on NASDAQ. I'm gonna need the week to start for me to really frame what I'm looking for sells though. I'm not looking for buys. Let's just put it like that. So for right now, it doesn't look like I'm neutral on where I'm going to take those sells. But overall, higher time frame, I want sell setups on NASDAQ. In the meantime, I'm neutral. So I'm not even going to send out a chart on her. I love her. That's my girl. But she going to have to wait. So yeah, EUR/USD. We're going to hunt EUR/USD this week, guys. We already identified what we're looking for. We want to see them, like we said, trade back up. We want to see them trade back up into this this order block, this fair value gap here. But I got my eyes open on you though, EUR/USD, because like I was saying, The thing about Euro USD is that, oh, this is the wrong chart. I was like, where's all the stuff we just wrote? This don't make no sense. All right, but yeah, this is what we looking for on Euro USD. Yeah, I want to see how it's gonna react when we get here. I want to see how the dollar's responding. If we get to this buy side liquidity right here on Euro USD, this first area of significance, if we get there and the dollar is trading back to that area of this fair value below equilibrium, if that's happening at the same time that Euro USD is reaching that high, oh yeah, I'm ready to sell. That's all they needed. I'm good. But if the dollar is still trading above equilibrium and Euro USD reaches here, oh yeah, we're targeting here for sells. You get what I'm saying? But AU is the most clear. It is the most clear for me. It is the one that I can clearly say that I'm hunting. And that I think is done moving and creating new highs. I can say that for sure. So we'll see. Now, if AUD/USD, what would invalidate this? I'm starting to do that now. Give you guys some invalidating things. Is that if AUD/USD gets back up to this zone right here that we're looking for, if we come back up here on AUD/USD, oh, I don't even think I had to do that. Yeah, so if we come back up here on AUD/USD, it's eyes for real. I'm gonna just leave both of them there. That look like a smiley face low key. All right, my bad. If AUD/USD trades back up to the eyes, this is kind of creepy right now. I ain't gonna lie, but if it trades back up to those eyes, and we reach this level, and the dollar is not trading below equilibrium yet, then that trade is invalidated. That would invalidate the setup, and I'll leave her alone and wait for her to take the buy side liquidity, because they did leave some significantly relatively high equal highs up here, especially on the hourly time frame we can see. Okay, so be aware this can get invalidated. We could see them break this zone, literally wick here and trade away. But all of those things depend on where the dollar is when we reach these areas, these key areas of interest. Okay, so with that being said, man, that is our weekly outlook. That is our market outlook for this week. Like I said, everybody watching the YouTube video, if you're watching the recording, or if you're on the lounge, whatever, go to the YouTube video, drop a like, drop a subscribe, drop a comment, share the YouTube channel. That's the ways that you can contribute to the guild. Even if you're not a member of the guild, you can contribute just by showing love. I appreciate y'all taking your time to be with me today. I appreciate y'all, paying in time, because I think that's a significant form of payment. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to be on here. Hope y'all got some value. I might be on the trading floor tomorrow for all guild members. I'll be on there Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 8:15 a.m. We'll be live in the guild. 8 p.m. on Thursday, we're gonna do a how to do your buyers training. That will be in the lounge. So even if you're not a guild member, you'll have access to that training on Thursday, 8 p.m. So you guys can let people know. If show it by yourself, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do. That's what we're gonna be doing this week. I think that's all we got on the schedule. And remember, guys, right? Post in the forum, okay? Pop up, like post in the forum. Like if we go ahead and go boom to the trading and investing forum, and we have the team weekly journal, right? I went ahead and I just dropped the news. I'm gonna drop everything we talked about in market outlook this week. But I'm gonna tell y'all this, right? If you are not participating in the journal, I can only assume it's because you're not journaling yourself. Okay, because if you're journaling yourself, it would be very easy to take the same things you're journaling for yourself and just put pieces of it in the forum, right? Just as a form of accountability, whether it's an analysis, whether it's just a feeling, whether it's why you took something, why you didn't take something, what you learned, whatever the case is. This is that place we could show up as a unit, right? Show up as a group, and kind of track that accountability. I mean, of course, you can get ideas from other people. That can happen, but more so, I want you to use this as a form of accountability for yourself, because I'm letting you know right now, if you're avoiding journaling your trades, if you're not journaling your trades, trades, you're not journaling your journey, you're not, having these things, you're not treating this thing like a business, I promise you, this is 0% chance it's going to pay you as a business. It's just not going to do it. Okay. So highly recommend that you do that. Something that you can actually do on Discord, guys, and I took this idea from somebody else, is that what you can do is you can actually, on the left-hand side, on Discord, you can go to the very bottom. You can make your own server. You can create a server, go create my own for me and my friends, and you can name it Mavericks Trading Journal. Okay. And you can actually, instead of journaling in a book, if this would be easier for you, if you're a member of the guild, just hit me up in the hub and I'll help you do this if you want to do this. But you can literally just make separate channels. You can make one for chart analysis, right? You can put all your charts in there, right? You can make one for daily emotions. You can make one for your daily emotions. You can make one for my trading plans, right? You can have more than one trading plan. You can make one for my trading model or setups, right? What is it that you're looking for? And you can put all your rules in here. You can put all your plans in here, and you can track this way. And now anything that you're journaling, you can just take that and you can contribute it to the group journal, to the team as well. You get what I'm saying? So, all right, copy. All right. But with that being said, like I said, I appreciate you guys tapping in with us, and I'll see you guys on the trading floor this week, Tuesday.